Hello students, today we are going to study Social Science of class 9th, chapter 1, Rise of British Rule in India, part 2. In part 1, we discussed how the Europeans came to India and they had a trade in India. They discovered the different sea route to India, the arrival of Europeans to India, and they arrived the British rule and established their trade centers in different part of India. And today we are going to discuss about the Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey. Sirajud-Dowlah was ruling over Bengal due to his impulsive nature. He had some opponents in his state. During this period, the British East India Company built a fortress around the trade center in Kolkata on pretext of security reason without taking the permission of the Nawab, but Nawab Sirajud-Dowlah destroyed the fortress. When this news reached Madras, that is Chennai, a small army of the company led by Robert Clive reached Bengal in order to help the Kolkata trade center. See here in this the battle of Plassey, see what happened. See, there was a battle between the Sirajud-Dowlah became the Nawab of the Bengal after the death of Ali Vardhan Khan in 1756. In order to remove Sirajud-Dowlah, Britishers resorted to frontal their means of helping his components. See, Sirajud-Dowlah ordered British company to stop interfering in political matters, to stop fortification of their fort and to pay taxes legally. So they could not look after their trade only with the acceptance of terms and condition. Thus, no solution to this, he attacked the British fort with an army of 30,000 soldiers. Nawab's army captured the Britishers and surrounded their ship. Sirajud-Dowlah then moved towards Kolkata in order to capture the other British fort. On hearing this news, a small army from Madras, that is in Chennai, reached Bengal under the captaincy of Robert Clive. See, in spite of the army of the East India Company being strong, they realized that it was not easy to defeat Nawab's army. So Robert Clive resorted to treachery. A conspiracy was planned in order to defeat the Nawabs, in which the Nawab's commander-in-chief Mir Zafar and Seth Ami Chand were coaxed to join on the pretext that the Nawab is unnecessarily harassing the people, and the war was declared in the ground near a village named Plassey. Yes, see, since the Britishers were powerless against the Nawab's army, so they defied the conspiracy, and the British lured Mir Jafar, the commander-in-chief of Sirajud-Dowlah, to their side by promising to make him the Nawab. And Robert Clive declared a war against Sirajud-Dowlah in 1757 at the place a plan of Plassey with the excuse of harassing them. The Nawab army under the commander Mir Jafar did not join the battle against the British. As a result, Sirajud-Dowlah was defeated and was murdered. The Battle of Plassey was the first battle of the British in the India. Indian history of India changed after this battle. Hence, this battle was a turning point in the Indian history. See, the Battle of Plassey was fought on 23rd June 1757, and the battlefield of Plassey is situated 38 kilometers from Murshidabad, that is West Bengal. According to this plan, Mir Jafar lost the battle. Sirajud-Dowlah was defeated due to Robert Clive treachery. The Battle of Plassey ended in just a half day, and the company as a result got freehold over 24 parganas. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal, then they made Mir Jafar the Nawab of Bengal. Thus the foundation of the company rule in India was laid with the Battle of Plassey in 1757. So in this way the Battle of Plassey was held. Now moving ahead, the Battle of Buxar. The Britishers made Mir Jafar the Nawab of Bengal and under different pretexts tried to extract plenty of wealth from him. See, the Britishers made Mir Jafar the Nawab of Bengal and they started extracting the plenty of wealth from him. Due to this greed of gain more power, the East India Company managed to dethrone Mir Jafar, and they dethroned the Mir Jafar and made Mir Qasim the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Qasim proved to be more ambitious. He was very ambitious then compared to Mir Jafar, and he became a threat for the company. So what after that what happened? Mir Qasim was also been removed and Mir Zafar was again made the Nawab. Mir Qasim took refuge with the other Nawabs of Awadh. During this time, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam had come to Awadh. At that time, Shah Alam had come to Awadh. So all three of them decided to join hands together and fight against this company. Unitedly they fought and thus they declared a war against East India Company. At Buxar, the East India Company fought against the United Army. These three United Army, they fought East India Company with them on 22nd October 1764, in which the United Army lost, and this the United Army lost. Thus, the company got the Diwani rights, right to collect revenue to Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. The other expansion of the company. See, after this, the Battle of Plassey and the Buxar, the company started to expand. The English government passed a regulatory act in 1773 AD, according to which the governor of Bengal was made the governor general. According to that act, the governor of Bengal he was made the governor general, and all the trade and the political activities of the company were brought under his direct control. The Mumbai Madras governor has his council were brought under him, and that the Mumbai Madras governor was also and his council were brought under him only. Thus, Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India, and at that time, Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India. During his tenure, the first Maratha War, and during his time, the first Maratha War and the second Mysore War with Hyder Ali of Mysore was waged. The problem for the East India Company increased, and the problem was increasing because of them, because it had to face both the powers simultaneously. Cornwallis took over as Governor General. Then, after Warren Hastings, Cornwallis took over the Governor General, and during his tenure of Cornwallis, the Third Mysore War took place with the Tipu Sultan, and he was known as the Tiger of Mysore. The company had to join the hands with the Marathas and the Nizam, and they have to defeat the Tipu Sultan. Tipu could not win against the combined forces and had to accept the treaty, and he has to accept the treaty. He could not win against this combined forces. After Cornwallis, Sir John Shore became the Governor General. After that, Cornwallis, who became Sir John Shore, he became the Governor General due to the some rigid policies adopted by him. In East India Company, fame declined, and the Marathas became stronger. So Governor General Wellesley, who came after John Shore, got the responsibility of making the company, and he got the responsibility of making his company supreme in India. For this, Wallace introduced a subsidiary alliance system. Yes, he introduced what the subsidiary alliance system, and what is that? See, subsidiary alliance system was a scheme implemented by the Governor General Wellesley, wherein the company provided the protection to the Indian rulers who accept the secondary rule. This was the subsidiary alliance system. According to Wellesley, the condition and the system which was stated were as follows. The army trained by the East India Company government will be provided to the state. See, they were providing the trained army which was from the East India Company, and they accept this system. This army would protect, and they would protect the state from internal as well as the external attacks. Second was in return the state accepting the system. In return, what the state has to do while accepting the system will provide for the army or give away the provisions with equivalent income to the British, and they have to give the equivalent income which was being collected, they have to give it to the British. Without the permission of the company, the state will not wage a war or sign treaty with the other state. They have to take the permission of the company, and then only they can wage a war or sign any of the treaty with the other states. There will be one English representative in the state assembly, and any one English representative will be in the state assembly also. Other foreigners not to be employed in the states, and foreigners were not to be employed in that state. The state ruling who has accepted this subsidiary alliance systems were Nizams, Mysore, Awadh, Gaikwad, Shinde, Bhosle, and Holkar. See, this system was like sweet poison. Yes, it was like a sweet poison. By implementing this system, Wellesley annexed many provisions and expanded his rule. He started implementing this system and he annexed many provisions, and in this way he started expanding his rule of East India Company. See, the Governor General Wellesley asked Tipu Sultan to accept this subsidiary alliance system, but he refused to accept it. For declining the alliance system, the company with support from the Nizam and attacked Mysore in 1799. For that not accepting, they attacked Mysore in the year 1799. During this fourth Mysore war, during this war, Tipu lost his life and Tipu Sultan was killed while fighting against the Britishers. After Wellesley, Hastings came to the India as Governor General, and this, see, after Wellesley now who came? Hastings came to the India as a Governor General, and he waged a war with Nepal, and made the Gurkhas to join the army. Hastings fought a battle with the Pindras and took control over them, and then the Hastings he fought the battle with the Pindras and took the control over them also with the third Maratha war, and then was the third Maratha war. The supremacy of the company was established. In this way it started establishing. In comparison to earlier Governor General, comparing to all the other Governor General, William Bentinck is known as a liberal Governor General. Yeah, William Bentinck, he was a very liberal Governor General. What Bentinck believed, that the dissatisfaction in different state, if there would be a dissatisfaction in the different state, why? Because of what? Because of imperialist policy adopted by the provisions. The policy which was adopted by previous Governor General could not bring about any unity. There won't be any unity among them. So he was very liberal in this date, and he was liberal in all these dates. And Dalhousie then came to India as a Governor General in 1848. In 1848, who came? Dalhousie, and he was fierce imperialist. Dalhousie adopted the policy of annexation, and he adopted which policy? The policy of annexation for expansion of his company, that is British East India Company, and his imperialisms in India. Now we end over here. Next we'll read in the another part. Thank you.